I think when you're on stage and you're confident and you're outspoken as a woman, I just think there's still a lot of misogyny and people don't necessarily feel comfortable with that. They feel confronted by it. It's like, don't be too prude, but don't be too sexual.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to be too much of a good girl, but you don't want to be too much of a bad girl. It's all about selling conflict so that corporations can buy our data. I think we need to see big artists demand more from the industry.
Hi, welcome to Quotes. I am Victoria Reichelt. I'm a journalist covering politics and pop culture, and today I'm having a nice little stroll through the surprisingly sunny Hamburg while Reeperbahn Festival is in full mode. Here in Quotes, we talk about gender inclusivity and gender diversity within the music industry. And luckily, I'm not gonna discuss on my own, but I have a wonderful guest who is a famous singer, songwriter, even actress. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Kate Nash.
Hello.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Good?
Good.
How's Hamburg treating you so far?
Very good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've had an acoustic session today and I've had some lunch and I had sound check at the venue. And we are closing Reeperbahn tonight, so I'm really excited about that.
So the big act for tonight is here. You've told me that this is not your first time on Reeperbahn Festival.
It's true, I've played Reeperbahn before, and I've also been on the Anchor. I've done the Anchor Awards. I was like one of the judges, which was really fun. I was with Peaches.
Yeah, I love Peaches.
Yeah, she's awesome. And Tony Visconti, and yeah, we had really, I just love the festival. I think that they make a really great effort to comment on what's wrong with the industry and like talk about resolving issues and lots about like gender inclusivity in the industry. So yeah, I really am a fan of Reeperbahn Festival. Yeah.
Just to give you like a quick introduction on my relationship to your work.
Okay.
So I have a very like core memory moment that when I was 12 and I had my first heartbreak, I was listening to
12.
12 or like let it be 13.
Wow. Okay.
And then I have this moment of like walking home from school and I listened to Nicest Thing.
Aww.
And it somehow became like a staple routine in my life.
Really?
Like, just to like illustrate for how long you've been like such an important part of the music industry. Cool. So you launched this amazing album in 2007. Tell me, what has changed like about being a woman in this industry from 2007 to today?
A lot has changed. I think there's positives and negatives. I think that I see a lot more women on stage now.
That's true, yeah.
In terms of female-fronted bands and artists, there's still like not enough female crew. And I think that's something that artists should be aware of, is like you need diversity. Like you're an employer, so like who are you employing and do you have diversity amongst your crew? And I think that there's a lot of, I definitely feel more support, and I feel like in younger artists, they have a lot more community. In my day, I don't think there was much community in the UK.
So there was a lot of, what do you mean by that, like elbows out?
It was like the media pitting us against each other. And it just didn't feel like when you met each other that there was like a safe feeling, or like we didn't kind of like fight back against that and embrace each other. Unfortunately, I think people felt like there's a piece of the pie and it's for me, or I don't know. I just don't think the industry like really wants you to kind of connect. Whereas now I think there's a lot more collaboration and a lot more connection, which is really nice to see.
Especially as women, I feel like we are very good in a way of like saying there can only be one woman who does this and like one woman who does this. And I feel like this has changed a bit. Right?
Yeah, I think that like women reject that. I do. I think it's sort of the media and the world kind of like telling you that like you have to be that as a woman, but I don't know that that's really true. But you're definitely made to feel that. And like on the negative side, I think there's more pressure than ever on like on looking perfect. There's like an Ozempic craze going on, so everyone's really skinny. People are trying to be ageless.
Yeah, we really bounced back from this whole like body positivity vibe that was around. Yeah, now we're back to like the 2010s and stuff.
Yeah, and I just think like you just got to ignore that. You got to ignore that shit and ignore trends when it comes to looks, because we're all like different, and that's a good thing. And you just kind of have to like, I don't know. If you're a public-facing person, especially an artist, you're probably quite sensitive. But you have to sort of like just embrace who you are and present who you are, because that's really unique. And I think that you can't succumb to the pressure that like Instagram comments or the Daily Mail they're going to put on you, because you'll never please everyone. So why bother trying? I don't know.
This sounds like a good, also like a takeaway for young artists maybe watching us, right? Who are maybe not your age, but like starting, maybe are 17 or 18 years old. Why do you think has the music industry such a hard time with equality? I mean, you're also part of Keychange, an initiative that's specifically addresses gender inequality. Why do you think that it's such a topic within the music industry? Is it because it's so heavily based on looks as well?
Yeah, I think that like women are judged so much on how they present themselves to the world, their image, their sexuality, their body, their age. Like it comes with like, there's such high stakes.
Yeah.
And there's punishment. I mean, we live in kind of a world anyway for everybody, not just women, but like, it's like, don't be too prude, but don't be too sexual.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, fit in this box and do it right and kind of present yourself perfectly. You don't want to be too much of a good girl, but you don't want to be too much of a bad girl. And I don't know, like I don't know what we're trying to tell young people about like not fucking up and not failing, you know? Like we have to fail to grow.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But obviously, like, I think when you're on stage and you're confident and you're outspoken as a woman, I just think there's still a lot of misogyny and people don't necessarily feel comfortable with that. They feel confronted by it.
Do you feel more comfortable these days than when you started? Because you like seem quite confident and like quite outspoken about these issues as well.
Yeah, I do. I feel way more confident. I still have insecurities. Obviously, I'm a human, but I think everyone has insecurities. But in general, I know myself very well. I've overcome a lot of adversity in my career and the industry. You know, I've faced a lot of weird shit being a famous person, like from the age of 17.
Oh, that's insane.
And then like getting dropped and becoming an independent artist and having to like take care of financial drama and being stolen from and like employing people. It's just like there's so much to think about. And I think it's given me a lot of confidence in myself when the fact that I've like overcome a lot of crap. You start to feel like I'm capable and I actually have experience. I've got 18 years of experience now, so I have an opinion that is based on something legitimate. And yeah, I think like as I get older, I just trust my instincts way more. So I don't need to know why I think someone isn't right. I just don't I'm like I get sense of a person really quickly now. So if I meet someone and I'm like, I'm just not sure, I don't know why, I don't need to know why. They're just like telling me something energetically and I really trust that.
And this is probably also something that comes with age or with like experience. Yes. You've been around for quite a while, and something that has definitely changed is the role of social media. I think in everyone's lives, but specifically for you as an artist, when I like open my TikTok app, it seems like all the music that I see is specifically curated and written to fit these like 15-second brackets. How do you look at these social networks? Because from what I read that you also call them like kind of an addiction, but you're still on it. So what is your relationship with social media?
So I'm addicted to social media. I think
me too.
You are on it, you have to admit that you're addiction. I actually find it really interesting that there's quite a big focus in the UK on teen usage and trying to like give parents tools to help teens online. And I'm like, when are we going to help the adults? Because we're the ones setting the terrible example. Everybody has centered themselves in every single thing that ever fucking happens. It's not about you.
Yeah, true.
And as much as I really think everyone should have a voice and express it, like we've been sold a very shitty version of the internet, and we've been manipulated to think that like we should center ourselves in every issue and that it's like doing good, whereas actually like it's all about selling conflict so that corporations can buy our data. Every second that we're on there, they're ripping like and making money from us.
I mean, whenever you're not paying something, you're probably like you're paying with your data and with yourself.
Yeah, and then algorithms are actually cock-blocking artists from their fans. So it's kind of difficult to navigate social media and understand like what's the benefit. But in terms of like trends, music, I would have no interest in like following trends of music anyway. I mean, I'm 37, so I'm not really like interested in trends really.
So you've got your style set.
It's not that I have my style set. I don't think anything is set in stone, but I'm just interested in exploring the world and like leaving behind a true expression. And I don't think trends are interesting. And I don't think trends are for 37-year-olds either. Like, really.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, it's sad to think that music would be built off of trends, especially if it's trends that are benefiting massive major corporations, because that's just about money. And it's also becoming a problem for artists that like have a 15-second song on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I read an article about fans going to shows and like everyone's trying to go viral.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone.
I would assume that is like the biggest goal for an artist.
No, that's my worst nightmare. I think going viral is a nightmare. I don't think anyone should ever be trying to go viral.
Why is that?
Because it's awful. Look at the comments on a viral video. Like, everyone's so dumb. If anything is going to make you lose compassion for human beings, it's like comments on a viral video. And I just think those are not real fans. The industry's struggling to get those TikTok fans to shows or even to YouTube or even to buying a ticket, like, or a piece of merch. Those are not fans. They're actually thinking, I mean, this is twisted.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making a song for TikTok for 15 seconds that's going to go viral. It goes viral, and then everyone basically is taking that 15 seconds and making it about themselves and only engaging in it because it's viral and they want to go viral as well. It's bullshit, and it's gross, and it's uninspiring, and I think we should en masse reject it because it's pathetic and it's embarrassing.
Kate Nash thinks going viral is embarrassing, but what you're saying is that all these like going viral and algorithms are influencing the work that artists do, but it also influences the fandom. And it also influences going to concerts. I mean, now, tonight, you're closing Reeperbahn Festival. Like, everyone's waiting for you. What is your experience in, like, how concerts have been changing over the years?
I watched a video about this the other night, like by a neuroscience, like, company. Yeah, they kind of talk about things that make your brain happy. And they were showing videos of, like, gigs in 2007 and before, where like crowds without phones, and then gigs now are just like this. And I get it, you want to capture something. I go to see Beyonce and I'm like, oh, I want to get a video of Beyonce. But actually, like, how often are we looking at that back? And do we really
look back. I never look back.
You never look back. Do you need to film the entire, like, actually just living is obviously something we should be capable of doing as humans, and it feels like we're losing the capability. So I would encourage fans to just try to be in the moment. Obviously they're going to want to capture it, but like, as much as you can, like, think about like gig etiquette and who's behind you, and maybe someone behind you doesn't want to watch the whole gig through your phone. So yeah, I think we need to become a bit more aware. I think we've gone really in, and even walking down the street, you're like not looking where you're going. It's kind of like we need to become empathetic and aware, because we have one go at this. Life is going to be over for all of us at some point. So I don't want to be hooked to a little machine that's just like making money from me my whole life. It's horrible.
I've noticed that it also influences, or my smartphone use influences my music consumption, of course. Like, you published a new album in 2024. Like, if you could give advice to me and to other fans watching, what would be the ideal setting to like listen to this album? What is your like vision? Should we sit down in our living room and like toss the phone away and listen from first track to the 10th track?
I mean, I don't know. I think music is so personal. So like, everybody listens to music differently. I personally love listening to music in my car. I love to consume music that way. I also really love listening to music on my headphones and having, like, being on the tube or being out in the world and kind of taking music in. But similarly, I love listening to records and vinyl on the weekend. If there's some album that I'm really excited about, like when Beyonce released Cowboy Carter, I was like, oh my God, I need to be in, like, I sat on my bed and like listened to the whole thing and had an emotional
like in a church, like very
I was like, and I need to listen to it as soon as it's out, because I don't want to like miss out on that feeling. But yes, it's up to you. I wouldn't tell anyone how to listen to music. I am starting to dislike the online experience, because I feel like it's also now selling stuff to me all the time.
It's true. It's always
even on
linked to
Spotify.
consumption.
There's like an ad constantly now, and like you can scroll on Spotify. I found myself scrolling on Spotify, and I was like, wait, I didn't know you could even do this. Why am I scrolling on Spotify?
Yeah, to look for something better.
Look how cute this is. Whoa.
Wow.
There's loads of birds in there. Oh my God, that's so cute.
That is fandom in a way.
That's amazing. So I listen to it however you want, but just try, I suppose, not to like, I mean, I can't tell you what to do. Do whatever you like. How do you like to listen to music? Go and listen to it. If you're listening to it, I'm just really grateful.
So for all the people coming to your show tonight, what would be your wish for them? Like, should they all lock their phone away and just like dive into the moment with you?
I don't think that's realistic, although I do like when I see that gigs sometimes have like those little things you lock your phone in and you get it back. I would love to experiment with that. I kind of imagine you need a big budget to be able to do something like that. Just think about other people in the room. That's all I would say. It's just like, get your photo, get your moment, but like just remember other people are there too and they also want to enjoy it. So I'm a big like proponent of like gig etiquette and like thinking of others. If you're really tall, maybe think about a short person, you know, like if you want to get rowdy, go near the front. If you kind of want a private moment, go near the back. There's just ways to behave at gigs, I think, that are really important for like everyone having a good time, and it's a community experience. So
I've recently saw like a venue, I think it's in Berlin or like somewhere around, that is specifically made for experiences like this. So you have to give your phone away.
Cool.
I was like, this is cool. Like, I want to experience that.
I think we're going to see more of that. I do feel people are going to start rejecting it because it's not rejection of technology. It's a rejection of advertisement. It's a rejection of like constantly being like taken from. And I think we're in an era where you can actually feel the data being like taken from. I can feel that like constantly people's trying to sell stuff to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm tired, you know. So I do feel we're going to see more of these experiences like curated to help people get away from their phones, because it's an addiction. Everybody knows it. Like, you know, it's got to be. It's changed global behavior, which is quite scary.
That's true.
Obviously, there's loads of positives, but I think we should focus on the negative, because we should be saying this version of it isn't good enough for us. Like there's better ways this technology could be used, and it could make people's lives better.
So speaking on optimism, maybe for the digital sphere that we're in, like what would you like to see the music industry change for the next couple of years? And what would you like to create in this music industry? What can we expect from you? Big question.
That makes me tired. Something has to give. Something has to give. We are not paid fairly for our recorded works. Paid about 0.003 of a cent per stream. That's not fair. That's not fair pay. Think about how this affects diversity in the industry. Are we saying music is a club for the rich? Even on tour now, it's actually really hard to profit from tour. Like, I'm about to go on tour in America, in North America. I'm going to lose a ton of money. I'm in a position where I can take that risk and lose the money. So a lot of artists have to cancel tours because they're like, actually, there's been like a hyperinflation since COVID that never went down, but like artists' fees never went up. So like, how are we supposed to pay? And you do get people kind of, you know, getting rid of their band, like just being solo on stage. So like, we're kind of devaluing musicianship. You're kind of giving like a lesser experience to the crowd because you're cutting costs. You might be asking your crew to take a pay cut, traveling in potentially unsafe conditions. Like I've heard of lots of different ways that people are trying to make it work, but something has to give. And I think that we're seeing this kind of creepy billionaires club come from music too. You know, you've got the Oasis, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Coldplay, and then like everybody else. And I don't know, like I think there should be a middle class. I think there should be a working class. I think diversity is really important. I don't think only rich people should be able to make music. So pay us fairly for our recorded music. That would change a lot. And I don't even know where to begin on how to fix the live industry right now, but like I don't know what that takes, but it's in a bad situation.
But what it probably takes is that every one of us, like consuming music, does it more ethically, or maybe starts to think about what their consumption means to musician, or like how it changes.
I don't know, because I think fans in general want to help and they kind of want to support artists. But I suppose we've taught everybody that like music is valueless.
It's free. It's just
like,
available.
You pay $9.99 a month. You think that's helping artists? It's not really. Like it's not really going in the right pockets. it's unionship. It's like people in the industry with power. The major labels signed their agreements with Spotify under NDAs. So like, we don't really know what the terms and conditions are. I think we need to see big artists demand more from the industry. Artists with the power need to stand up for like the rest of us, because who cares? Kate Nash is on a podium again complaining about the industry. I've done that my entire career. Like, I don't have that much power. And I think that like if some really big artists could take a bit more responsibility and like shield some of that. But then the industry's kind of bred everyone to be like, it's my piece of the pie. I don't want to risk these partnerships. You know, it's like fucking handshakes everywhere. So I don't know. Just gotta keep trying.
We gotta keep trying, but thank you so much for this like input. It gave me a lot of new ideas and like thinking about ways I consume music and everything else.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy your show tonight.
Thank you.
We for sure will. And if you like this episode, check out the other Quotes episodes. Bye.
Bye.